Hello chị.
Hi.
Chị ơi, at 12, we will accept everyone, or we should just accept everyone right now?
Yeah, just accept everyone.
Okay.
Or we can
Let
wait.
me set you at code.
Sorry. Just before you accept everyone. Okay, the polls are here. Okay, cool. There's only one poll.
No, it's free.
Okay. Are you too? I think it's the first time we see.
Yes.
Hi, how are you feeling today?
Feel bit better than yesterday. By the way, which JC she registered?
Sorry?
JC, she registered for the link already, or should I set her as a panelist?
Yeah, I asked her to register. Did she? You have access to the. You're the one to have access to the.
Yeah, but there's 16. I haven't checked like one by one, so.
Can you make a launch a search function? Use the search function.
Yes. I'll quickly search for her. Yes, she registered.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. If she has already, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the poll is one by one. Can you change, or is it too late? I thought it would be a poll with the three questions.
Let me try. Yeah, I think I can. Just I've just changed it. You can check it now, chị ơi. It's the free question right now.
Perfect. Cảm ơn.
Okay.
Trả tiền tím. I'm on the third
Yes,
one.
trả tiền.
Trả tiền is
Yeah. Pay the
paying.
bill. Yeah. No,
Ah
yeah.
no. No. Sorry. I think I used the wrong tone on trả. It's just like a T. Sorry. T.
What did you mean with that one?
Because the third question is on which coffee team are you? Are you team café sir or café den?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the third one is I'm on the team of tea.
Tea.
Tea team. Tea trà đá.
Trà. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you make this? I'm sorry,
Okay.
it's confusing.
So people are asking to join, you just see them and
Yes.
admit them.
Okay. Hi, thơ. Thu Chan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Miss Dennis.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're working for Human Dynamic. Awesome.
Yes, exactly. It's my honor to join these meetings of yours. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna launch soon a small poll. Hi, Tracy. Okay. Hi, Mia.
Hey,
How are you?
yeah, I'm still great. How are you guys?
Good, very good. Though they have announced that they are going to tighten the Directive 16. I think there's some panic buying currently at the supermarkets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they say like nobody is allowed to go out during 1 week or whatever. I hope it won't hold people to actually come.
Yeah, I also hope that one lasts longer.
Yeah. Okay, Chan.
Hello, chị Tracy. Hello, chị Thơ.
Hello, Miss Mia. Hello, Miss Tracy.
You have a nice background, Tracy. Oh, we are going to wait for a few minutes. It's just two from Dreamplex. Have you made the change on the third question from the poll?
Yes, I did. So it's IC team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I changed it.
Yeah.
You can check it now.
I don't see the change.
You haven't seen it yet? I changed it in Zoom. Mia, can you help me to check the poll, please? Because I think I can't open it right now on Zoom.
Okay. Poll 1. There's gonna be 3 questions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The third question on
The third
coffee.
question is on coffees. Which teams are you?
Yeah, Café Sir, Café Dan, and I'm on the chat team. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's written Jatian team. It's like I'm on the team of just like paying.
Yeah.
Is it possible
yeah.
to just change the Jatian to Jada? Sorry, I
Okay.
got wrong. I got mixed. with the
Yeah.
tones.
I think we
So
can.
confusing, Vietnamese. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Perfect. Now I've launched the poll. So to the participant, please answer. Welcome to the session. We are going to start at 12. But before we start, please answer the poll. Just in the time waiting for the others to come. Oh. Oh. Wow. Hi, Duan. Hello, Duan. Wow, more than 20%, more than, okay, 40% of your teams would like to continue to work from home. Wow, that's interesting. Considering that we had Tiki's former chief people officer, and she told us that 85% of the Tiki team wanted to come back to the office. So that's very interesting. A very interesting development after the lockdown. Okay, there we are. Okay. Wow, nobody is into Cafe Dan. Oh my gosh, I'm the only one. I'm surrounded by people who like their coffee sweet. Perfect. For those who just joined, please answer the poll. Going to wait 5 more minutes for people to join in the session. And yeah. Awesome. Like in the chat box, for those who answered the question number 1 on how many % of your teams would like to continue to work from home, how did you did it? Did you run some polls in your company? Please type the answer on the chat box so that we get like how you stay connected to the expectations of your teams. I'd be curious to know. Yes. Welcome, Kao. Welcome. Please answer the poll. Jan, she didn't do any survey, but our leadership has the plan. Oh, okay. But Jan, you didn't run any. You didn't ask the teams if they wanted to continue to work from home after the lockdown is lifted. Very interesting. Oh. Okay, welcome to this HR lunch break. We are going to start shortly. And thank you very much for Tracy for being here and earlier and hanging around with us. Hi, Chang, welcome. Please answer the poll before we start. We are going to start in about 2 minutes. Duan says, my team is a small team of about 18 students. Yes. And most of them want to get back to offline when asked. Yeah, I guess for the new generation, it's quite hard to be so isolated. I don't know, like Tracy maybe has some advice to the new generation, the Generation Z, that we can tackle afterwards. Yeah, like, and most of the students also, like, they are from other provinces, right? So I guess they are also isolated from their parents, their family. So that's an issue also. Hi, Huang. For those who just joined, please answer the poll. We are going to start in just 2 minutes. Just waiting for people to come in to join. Most of people have most of the teams that want to continue to work from home. That's very interesting. I love that poll. It's very, very interesting. And that means that organizing a session on hybrid work and understanding how Shopee did to the switch to hybrid work makes a lot of sense at the moment. So that's great. Welcome everyone to this session. Mihail Jung says that Reka trials hybrid model early 2018, fully adopts from 2019. Wow. We feel quite comfortable with the model, but there's so many rooms for improvement, especially in operation and performance. Thank you very much, Michal, for this message. Let's talk about that afterwards, together with Tracy. And I think that everybody would benefit from your experience. So feel free to share that afterwards during the group discussion, okay? Welcome everyone to this HR lunch break. If I can ask Mia and to help me, assist me admit people when they ask, that would be great. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. For those who just joined, please answer the poll because that's a very interesting data that we've got here. So please make sure to answer the poll that is shown on the screen. Thank you everyone for participating, for joining our HR network today. My name is Denise. I'm a coach, certified trainer, and CEO of Tide Consulting. I offer trainings and coaching sessions to leading companies in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia who believe in the growth of their employees to boost their company's growth. This event is in partnership with Dreamplex that you surely know about. It's one of the leading co-working space here in Ho Chi Minh City. Make sure to check them out because their locations are all designed for you to be as productive as possible. The current lockdown is transforming employee and customer expectations. And it's now been more than 2 months that all the teams are working remotely. You may have sent them like some care package because they were in lockdown areas, or because they were just like you just cared about people, your teams. You may have organized weekly check-ins, informal events like yoga challenges or sport challenges. But now, what's next? What's next after this lockdown is lifted? There are people who would like to continue, and like most of the teams that are currently participating to this HR lunch break, and some part just want to go back to the office. So how to prepare that? How to prepare this new model of hybrid work? We've seen by experience in the West after the lockdown in 2020 that this is a growing trend of hybrid work. Accenture said that there's 83% of workers who prefer hybrid work. During the lockdown, they realized that they loved being flexible with that time. So they don't really want to go back to the office and just continue work remotely. So companies have realized that there is no more one size fits all anymore, and that employees embrace their flexibility, and they are ditching their 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. strict work schedule. But first, what is hybrid work? Hybrid work is the right balance between office and remote work. There are 3 elements: people, place, and process, and all have to be rewired to the whole, so that the whole organization is on the hybrid work mode. And this means that your people understands what is hybrid work, how it works. That your workplace is flexible. Either they choose whether they go back to the office or they use alternatives like co-working spaces like Dreamplex. And about the process on how do they communicate to their boss that they want to have a more flexible work schedule, and making sure that the fact that they have flexible hours is not altering the process, the internal process and the productivity of the whole team and the company. But so we've seen that in the West. But how will this work in Southeast Asia and more importantly, in Vietnam? So today we will discuss this model with Tracey, head of HR, about what is hybrid work for Shopee, how they managed to design their journey to hybrid work, what are the alternatives and how to prepare for it. So thank you very much, Tracey, for being here. She is the head of HR of Shopee, who is the leading company of an exponential market, which is e-commerce in Vietnam. I think that now, more than ever, during the lockdown, we are all ordering from Shopee or Lazada or Tiki, but and we couldn't maybe survive without those actors. But anyway, but before we start and dig into Shopee's experience of switching to hybrid work, I'd like to invite you to breakout rooms. Today we are 34. I'm gonna break out rooms of 4 people. And I'd like you to connect and discuss on what are the challenges that you foresee on the way to hybrid work. You will have 5 minutes, 5 minutes in the breakout room, and then you come back and then we will discuss about that, okay? Before we start the session with Tracey. So we are going to be back at, yes, yeah. So please join the breakout rooms for 5 minutes, and then you come back and please answer what are the challenges that you foresee on the way to hybrid work. I'm gonna launch the breakout rooms, so please join. Please join them. Just Tracey. No, not Tracey. Tracey, please stay. I hope you have not joined yet. Yeah, she joined. It's fine. Cool. Okay. Okay, for those who are still online, please join. Okay. Hi, Tracey. Oh, you are not in the breakout rooms.
Yeah,
Cool.
Thư and I were joining
You
one,
came back.
and just 2 of us, and then we think that the room should be more to have more people. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people are not joining.
Yeah, so that's why we left the breakout room to
Okay,
back here to see like if we have more people.
more people coming. Okay. For you, what are the challenges that you are foreseeing of hybrid work? Like you have seen already, but too, if you'd like to share with us.
Yes, definitely. I think sharing here, it's fun as well. One of the challenges that we have actually encountered and experienced rather than foreseeing it is the communications. It's actually really hard when you have to communicate via typing, and when you're explaining and then the other member is also explaining, then you guys got misunderstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, communication is definitely one of the challenges, right?
Yes.
Yes, communication, and more importantly, you're mentioning about other people talking. It's about listening also, right?
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And any other challenges that you see?
I think it's also work-life balance. I saw a chart on LinkedIn the other day saying that when you work at the office, the pie chart is actually divided into getting coffee, having lunch, talking with the coworkers, stuff like that. But when now you work from home, the pie chart is only working.
Yeah, so it's all about it's about informal interactions, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, informal interactions also.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
There is no more coffee breaks. Cool. Awesome. Changda is right here. Okay. Yes. So work-life balance and communication. Yes, definitely. And we'll see with Tracy afterwards how to, if you have applied like any other solutions for that. Human Dynamics is a training company, right?
Oh, actually, we are a management consulting firm as well.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Good to see you. I'm happy to always see like a fellow
Yes.
consultants.
I like how you address it, Dennis, is fellow rather than competitors or rivalries. Fellow, it's such a great word. I like that.
Thanks. I always see things in positive way. Cool. We are going to come back. I hope they will have more 1 minute left. 1 more minute and I will call everybody back. I hope that the other participants are, I wonder like where you are. Maybe you are having lunch already. But that it's fine. It's fine that you're coming. Cool. How many people are in the teams of Human Dynamic?
We are an MNC, and globally we have over 100, but for the Vietnam team, we have around 8.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna close all the rooms and people are going to come back. I really hope they have time to continue to Very excited. Okay, people are coming back. Welcome back to the main session. Awesome. We already started to talk about what are the challenges for the people who came back earlier. So we've talked about communication was one of the challenges of listening to people who may like listening skills for people in the teams, listening to other people's opinions. And also the work-life balance. So we are excited to know what you have found. Okay, so group number 1, Duan, Nhung, Han, Ha, Zhang. What are the challenges that you have seen? You are forcing on the way to hybrid work. Please open your mic and let us know.
Yes, hello, Dennis. Hello, everyone. My name is Thanh Hà, and I will
Yes.
some point that my team had discussed.
Yes.
We have 3 main points about the challenge. First one is if we change to hybrid work, our employee will they have to adapt to new working environments, and it's like a challenge of them to have work-life balance.
Yeah.
And
yes.
the second, we have stated that whether we should change to the hybrid work, it will depend on the nature of our job, our works, because in some case we have some job and we have to interact with each other offline. It's really difficult for you to do it through the internet.
Yes. Okay. Some functions have to be on site. Yes.
Yeah, and the final one is that the managers they will it would be a challenge of them to interact with their employee, manage their work, their plan. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, Tan. Cool. Another team, please. Just like if you have any other challenges, please add up. Maybe in room number 3, Lin, Lihao, Phương, and Zhang. Maybe you have more ideas on other challenges. Please speak up. Open your mic or type in the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm Mikhail. I'm from group number 3, and I want to share some challenges about hybrid matter. The first one, I think, is relationships between employee and employer, and also different teammates. Because we don't have space to team building, to chat with each other, cannot communicate well with each other. So it's the biggest challenge. And I think relationship is really important in the company.
Yes,
but
definitely.
But the advantage of that is we have less politics within the company. So so it's the benefit. And the second one, I think, is about performance. It's more difficult for employer to track the performance of their team. And also it's more difficult for everyone to cooperate with each other.
Okay. Collaboration within the team and also tracking the performance. Cool. Thank you very much for identifying all the challenges. Thank you, Mikhail, for sharing the challenges that you have identified within the room. Let's move on to the next section. If you see any other challenges, please feel free to share them into the chat box. This is definitely something. Maybe there are some people within the 33 participants who haven't seen these challenges. So please feel free to share it to the chat. It's very important. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and welcome to the stage, Ms. Tracey. Hi, Tracey. Thank you so much.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you already got your lunch or are having your lunch at the moment.
Thank you so much, Tracey, for joining as a speaker for this HR lunch break on hybrid work. And I think that there are some of the challenges that maybe we can talk about during our conversation, especially on the collaboration and tracking performance, on how Shopee did manage to track and continue tracking the performance of their employees. But before we dive into the subject, can you tell us more about yourself and how you came to the position of being head of HR for Shopee?
All right, yeah. So thanks, Dennis, for inviting me to the section today. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Saigon. I always call it Saigon, no matter what. I spent about 10 years living in Singapore, like from university, working, and part of my, like most of my time in Singapore, I worked for McKinsey, a management consulting firm. And like 6 years ago, I decided to move back home in Saigon, and I joined e-commerce industry. By chance, I formed some connection with friends working with me in McKinsey earlier. I got introduced to Shopee, and I was joining the company in April 2017 at the head of HR. It's a wonderful journey for me in the 4.5 years, seeing the company growing from nothing to #1 e-commerce platform in the country. I still remember the early days when I joined Shopee. I called up candidates for interview, and then they asked me the question, say, so what is Shopee? What is that? What company is it? What is the industry? Blah, blah, blah. But now when like you talk to someone and then tell them like, oh, you're calling from Shopee, immediately people know. So that's a great achievement from all of us in the team to make us to the position where we are today.
Yeah, e-commerce is definitely a market that expanded itself. Like in 4 years, it was a real boom. I still remember in 2017 when I arrived, like there was no logistics. Like last mile logistics was a real problem and a real issue for all the e-commerce sectors. But you guys managed, and I think that it remains a lot on the HR function. To make sure that the operations and the teams who are designing the operation of the e-commerce service are all performant, and the HR function had a real role in that expansion. Coming to the Shopee strategy, after like doing some research, I've seen that it's really about hyper localization. We see it in the marketing campaign where you invite a lot of local influencers in each country where you're based in. How does this reflect in your HR strategy?
So in HR strategy, we got a central HR team in Singapore that I work together with all the local HR team. We do have some like global strategy, global policy that applies to all the countries, all the locations, something very universal, but up to when it comes to the local level, the country level, each of the like HR head or HR team, local HR team, have the flexibility and the authority to do something on our own that we can adapt to local like culture, local labor law, and then local custom. So something, for example, normally in other countries, when it comes to insurance for dependents, they only offer insurance for spouse or kids. But like given the Vietnam context, we also offer insurance for parents and parents-in-law. Yeah, so for certain level. So like only because in Vietnam, it's not just like your family, your spouse, your kids, but also your parents, and then also your in-law as well. So that's something we take into consideration when we say like, oh, benefits offered to family members. And now things like some other the benefits that or the engagement activities that we offer, we pay a lot of attention on like the local trends. For example, like usually on Facebook, they have like we have a really young employees, like a lot of like young employees, and then they are really trending with TikTok, with Facebook. So whenever we see like or different things that happening on Facebook in Vietnam or TikTok in Vietnam, we can do similar things. Like in the company, you know, I don't know whether you guys follow. I don't know it, but like my team showed that to me. That recently there's a really trendy game on Facebook that it's called Get to Know Me. So it's like in a Zoom setting that's like everyone has a number, and then there's a list of questions. If you pick a number, and then you need to answer the question with that number on the list. Some really fun question like, oh, tell me your crush, about your perfect date, etc. And then
that's nice.
Yeah, so we use that, like something like that, to organize different virtual activities in the company, or you know, like Vietnamese people are fond of karaoke, so we do virtual karaoke, and like a lot of people sign up for that. But in other location, other countries, they might like different things, and then so that's country they can tailor it in order to adapt with like the local custom and local culture.
I see. And have you always followed the trends, or is it more increased because of the lockdown, the current lockdown?
So we are a technology company, or like we do a lot of digital marketing. So like our digital marketing team is always up to date with the trends, and then it's a collaboration between like digital marketing and the like employee engagement team. So they can work together, they can share the trend, and then say, oh, so this is a new trend on social media. How about we do that for our internal employees? Before the lockdown, when we were able to do offline events, we also do something very trendy on social media as well, like a lot of like posts on Facebook, follow different trends. It's kind of like both offline and online going together before the lockdown. But now when it's in the lockdown time, we kind of like we have to stop all the offline, so and then we focus 100% on online engagement.
Oh, okay. So you were already used to engage online your staff and your teams. I think it's very interesting that you plug the marketing team together with the employee engagement, because there is a lot of similarities, and I think it's kind of the power of one of the secrets of engaging your employee, because your employee is also your customers, and they are as you need to get their attention as much as your customers. So that's very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing that. And before we move on, like, did you, regarding the challenge that was raised by Michal just before, how do you manage to keep tracking on your teams? How do you track the performance of your team during this lockdown and before the lockdown? Maybe there was some change.
I would want to focus on the lockdown period. That so we working from home is not new to us. It's been a while, yeah. So, but mostly started last year. Even when the Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi are open. Like during certain area, certain periods last year, we still kind of like maintain 50%. Yeah. Usually we only open 100% when we see that like the normal situation lasts quite long for 1 or 2 months or more than that we open the office 100%. But like whenever the government say that, or they put like decision 16 or decision 15, then we most of the time we act before that, or we extend our work from home arrangement 1 or 2 weeks or even a month after, even after the government say that, oh, everything is okay. So yeah, it's not really new to us. Each of the team, they do it very differently to track the performance of the employees, but generally there's a common theme that like, it's a Zoom check-in 9 a.m. in the morning. It depends on the team how intense they want to be. Some teams say, okay, every day 15 minutes check-in on Zoom at 9 a.m. To make sure that you're already awake. Yeah, you're not on the bed. Or some of the team they track. We use most of the thing online, GDoc system, and then also for us, we like before the lockdown, we have flexible working hours that we don't really track like the time that people get into the office or the time that they go back home. We track more on the result, on the final deliverables that they provide. Yeah, so it's more like, okay, how much you have accomplished for the day, for the week, and whether you meet your deadline or you meet your KPI. It's not just about working hours.
Yeah, you
so
focus
like,
more on deadlines.
So I guess like, or sorry, before the lockdown or during the lockdown, it's similar in terms of like tracking the performance.
I see. Okay, so you're more focused on deadlines rather than working hours. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is like, because the thing is that with the Asian mindset, we tend to see there's a lot of companies that are really strict on the work schedule. And for example, the managers has to stay the longest, and the teams can't leave without the managers leaving. Was this the mindset that you had when you came back to Vietnam, or did you encounter this kind of behaviors? Or okay.
No, not really, because at my company, we applied a flexible working schedule, as well as like people keep the rules that they have to be there on time at the meetings. Yeah, but other than that, we don't really track like what time people come in, what time people leave the office. Even though like when we're working in the office, we have the card, the access card to tap into the office that we can basically extract the data to see what time you get in, what time you get out. But we don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just for a matter of security that you have the tracking cards. Yeah. But no manager would come to any employee and say, hey, you came late, 1 minute late today. No.
Yeah. And a lot of the times, like our management team, we stay quite late in the office for certain days or emergency, or like even sometime we have meetings with other offices in different regions, not outside of Asia. So we have like meetings start at 6 p.m. because due to time zone difference, we stay in the office late, but it doesn't mean that the staff have to stay late as well.
Okay, yeah, it depends on your responsibility and where are the other stakeholders located. Okay, cool. Regarding Shopee's values, who are serve, run, commit, stay humble, and adapt. How do you make sure that those values are kept remotely throughout your teams?
All right. We have 5 values, and how. So maybe I start with like how we communicate, how we kind of like influence these values to the employees in general. Every day, every year, we have kind of like something we call like values day, values week, where we have a lot of like talk on the values, send out a lot of internal communications about the values, and then that's one. Second, in our performance appraisal, beside competency, beside KPI, beside leadership, we have a part to evaluate on values. Based on these values, those questions around that, whether this employee, the behavior and the performance reflect our values, and what are the specific example for certain values. And third one, we do have like every year we have like a kind of an award on values. Unlike other companies that people usually have like employee of the year, employee of the month, for example, we don't have that. But instead we have values award where employees can nominate themselves when they see that like other colleagues have demonstrated good company values, whether it's like leadership values or staff values. That's a company-wide event. And then also at department level, and each of the department, they also have their values award. So very unlike to other companies where they have employees like best employee, best performance award, we have the best values award in the company. And then the last thing that is specifically for Vietnam. So this is how that can show something like that. From the previous question that Dennis asked me about how we localize our HR strategy. So in Vietnam, with these 5 values, we serve, we run, we commit, we adapt, and we stay humble. For Vietnam team, we organize engagement events around this value. So let's, for example, we have 5 values. We pick 10 months of the year that are usually after Tet to the end of the year. And then for every values, we run campaign for 2 months. And then we organize different activities around that values. I'll give you some very simple example. When we serve, it happened before the lockdown. On the we serve values, we say like, okay, send thank you notes to your colleagues who help you with things at work. And then one of the Friday, we organize, we buy ice cream into the office, into the pantry, and then we ask all the managers to serve ice cream to their team members. It's not team members serving the ice cream to the manager, but it's like managers serving ice cream to the employees. I have a photo of that. That's me standing behind the ice cream, kind of the refrigerator, and then to serve the ice cream to the employees. For another example is we run. Currently, we are doing the we run month, 2 months. Before, so last year when it during we run activities, we asked employee to go running outside, whether it's a marathon or they run at home around their neighborhood, because running is a big part of Shopee culture. If you guys have participated in some of the marathon in Vietnam from 2017 to 2020, you will see like Shopee team are there a lot across the country. But since the lockdown, and then we cannot go out running, we treat it a little bit like instead of running, you do exercise as a team, like what do I do? Oh, squat. How many squat you can do in a minute? How many push-up that you can do in a minute? And like how long can you plank, something like that. And then as a team, they submit that, and then the team that gets the best result will receive some prizes from the company. So yeah, via these activities, we keep reminding the employees that, okay, beside work, in your daily life, you can practice our values as well. And that is a way that you remember the values for a very long time.
Yeah, it's all about like defining them, communicating on them, and making sure every employees are understanding that those values are very important, and they need to adapt their behaviors to how do you say, like, spread those values to their teams. But also it's all about experiencing it. Like every 2 months of the year, you actually have a themed event around those values. So that's very interesting on how you roll that the values across the company. Awesome, thank you very much for all those examples and hands-on activities that you have done at Shopee. I'd like to open the floor to anybody who has any questions or who would like to discuss with Tracey. Please feel free to open your mic. We are still here for 18 more minutes, so we can answer as many questions as possible. You can also type them in the chat. So please feel free to just jump in the conversation.
Good afternoon. This is Alex,
Hi.
ex-colleague from Lazada. So I have a couple of questions. The first one is that what kind of hybrid work benefits Shopee offers, such as delivery of laptop home or food allowance or all kind of things that help to onboard people remotely?
We do deliver laptop home. In the past 2 months, we deliver all the laptops home for new employees. I mean, like for existing employees, on the last day in the office, they were already informed that they should bring their laptop home, or even their monitor if they want to. So that beside the laptop, they have a screen as well. And for new employees, the past 2 months, we deliver the laptop to their home every week, like usually a week before their joining date. And on allowance, we know that like when people are working from home, they need to pay extra on electricity. So we also see that the government, when they they do the lockdown announcement, usually it's like 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. So we offer allowance for every 2 weeks as well, and then they go along with like how long the government would do the lockdown. It's like about let me see. Oh yeah, we offer allowance of 200K for every 2 weeks for people to pay extra on their electricity or their mobile phone or their Wi-Fi, etc. Yeah, and even like so during this lockdown, we also try to send them the safety box that is like hand sanitizer, mask, and then you know, like if you already were in e-commerce before, then you know that usually during the big campaign season, you have t-shirt for the campaign, and then we also send out t-shirts to people at home as well. The only thing that we didn't manage to do, like other companies that I saw on LinkedIn, is that we didn't send grocery. Yeah, because it's for I guess that usually for companies with a smaller size, like sending grocery is manageable than compared to outside.
Thank you. Another question is that hybrid work puts a lot of pressure on project management teams, which puts project managers into uncomfortable situation where their work depends on all of the other hybrid workers and makes them overworked, working sometimes 12 hours a day, answering everybody's requests and pushing people to complete assignments. How Shopee solves this issue?
Well, I don't think that like we have solved it completely, or we have a really like awesome solutions for that. It depends on the different project managers. So when you're working as a project manager, you have like different tools. We have Jira, we have Trello for people to manage the workload of the team. And the good thing is like usually with tech company, we work a lot on web like GDoc or Google spreadsheet. So it's a good thing that like just one different tools that everyone can work together at the same time. But we even with like e-commerce or tech industry, you know, people are kind of used with the high pressure, fast-paced environment. And then the key thing is here that when working remotely, like people don't have the whiteboard to write what they want to discuss, like in the office. And then they cannot talk to people immediately. What they normally do is that they do check-in on Zoom as often as possible. It's like a daily check-in at a certain time, even if like you think like, oh, today you don't have anything to discuss, but you still check in. And then you make it shorter than a normal check-in. But frequent check-in makes the project better and then moved into the right direction faster rather than, you know, like you leave it for a few days and then someone goes off to a wrong direction. So I think like with Zoom, we are all used to Zoom now, and then we use it as the best tool for us to check in every day.
Thank you. And the last question is that hybrid work has different focuses. There are three major ones. One is common flex, which we had before COVID, where people can decide what time they come to the office and what time they leave the office. Another one is which is based on the location, where people can work, for example, 9 to 6, but they can work half day in the office, half day at home. And there is a complete flex where people can come and leave office anytime or work from home. Which hybrid work Shopee prefers?
So for us, I feel we would go with the approach that firstly on the timing, we don't track people on timing, but at least we need people to work in the certain like similar time zone. You know, like, yeah, it's not exactly like 9 a.m., 6 p.m., but at least it's like similar, like maybe 10 a.m., 7 p.m. It's not like, okay, half the day in the afternoon and then the second half in the evening. It's quite hard to coordinate with people who are working in the morning. So we that's on the timing. On the locations, we currently have offices in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, and then we allow people to choose which location they want to work in. It doesn't really matter which city they are based, and then for certain like team, they are part of like Singapore team, but they are based in Vietnam, for example, so the location doesn't really matter. We on like physical locations, I mean, when we go back to the office after the lockdown, we still want people to get to the office as much as possible. The reason is that we are a really fast-paced company, and then the interaction things happen to us so fast that when we are in the office, we can coordinate much faster with change And then with like all the things happening around us, we haven't really think about like letting people to stay at home completely. But it's a possibility that we might allow a certain day that people can stay at home. We have like leaves policy or a lot of like support for people to work at home on certain days, but not 100% of the time.
Thank you.
But that's something that you're considering to implement after the lockdown, right? Is that something that you are considering to implement, like giving the choice to being 100% remote? Tracy?
Sorry?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, is that something that you're considering to give the opportunity to the team to be 100% remote? For example, there are, like we were talking about that with Sakshi, the former chief people officer of Tiki, and she told us like, yeah, there are so many developers, for example, that are, for example, in Dalat or in Da Nang or in other places because they like those environments. They are not in the city. They prefer to be in those part of the country. So is that something that you're considering of?
Yeah, we might consider that for engineering team because of the nature of their work. For other teams like marketing or operation team, we might not consider that because the interaction between people is much higher than the engineering team.
So yeah, so you consider that the interaction with in person is better than online, right?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Nyung is asking, when employees work from home for such a long time, when they are distracted and ineffective and often late to the deadline, what measures do you have for that employee? How do you deal with that kind of employee who miss the deadlines?
Well, I guess like it's not just about lockdown. It's like in a normal situation when the employees miss the deadline, that would affect the employees' performance review as well. And as the reporting managers, reporting managers need to have the responsibility to manage their team and then to give feedback. So we also have like a feedback culture where we encourage employees at all levels to give feedback to each other timely and constructively. So I think it was in the cases that the employees miss the deadline, their reporting manager should give the feedback immediately, not just waiting for a few times, but as soon as the first time happened, in order to avoid it happens again. And then if it's consistently happens, so then we need to think about like either moving the employees to another position that's more suitable, or we need to talk to the employee to see to understand the reason why that employees keeps missing the deadline. Is it because of not the right things or the right project for the employees to do, or is it because of work from home situation? And we'll see about that. I think when an employee missing the deadline, it's not just about the performance per se, but there might be other issue that either reporting manager or HRBP can step in to help to understand the situation in order to get the full solution for that.
Yeah, and maybe maybe they are just they have F0 cases in their family, or that could be understandable. Thank you very much for those answers. So basically, at Shopee, you made sure that the business continues, around the values that you have established by still communicating them, and you still have the campaign around the values that are running, right? And you adapted those values with the challenges, with the situation. How engaged are your employees in those challenges?
Oh, they are really engaged. So we have internally we have a chat system. So like we don't use Slack, we don't use Skype or anything. We have our internal system, and people chat on that. And then on that, there's a forum that people can discuss on, like for us to communicate on different activities in the company, and for employees to make a comment, to discuss that. And whenever we roll out any activity, it's usually a competition. When it's a competition, people are motivated more to participate, even though the prices are like small. For example, it's like 100K of a voucher, Shopee voucher as a prize. So, but people are motivated by that, and also we usually ask people to participate as a team. So it's not just like, oh yeah, you want to say that you need to form a team, and then you encourage other people, you motivate other people to participate with you too.
Okay, but do you have a percentage of engagement, for example, on an action? Like, for example, Power last time talked about one of his clients who ran the campaign. They have 1,000 people in their team, and 1,100 people, and 1,000 people actually got engaged, that it was engaged during the campaign. Do you have a number to give us on the engagement rates?
I don't prepare a number, the exact number for now. Just like in we split our employees into big groups. One is the office employees, and then the participant rate of the office employees may say 40%. And then the other big group of employees are people on the ground, logistic employees. And for logistic, the Shopee Express team, they actually have a campaign on like how they practice 5K at work, because they have to go to work. They cannot be at home because they are in operations, and then how they practice 5K, like masks or hand sanitizer, etc. And then they do a video on that. We have that competition last week, and so far I think like we got a few dozens of submissions with different videos, very cute videos of employees at a warehouse wearing masks, hand sanitizer, keep the distance, etc., in order to practice 5K. So it's like it's more like that we tailor the engagement activities in different groups of employees. We wouldn't say that like we reached 50% of employees participating in those activities, but like most of the time we have about like 25-30% of the employees being engaged in those.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much, Tracey. Let me sum up a little bit this session. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to this HR lunch break. So basically, today you share with us that you need to follow the online trends to engage your teams, engage them meaningfully by challenging them, follow the Facebook challenges that are trending at the moment, making sure that the marketing teams and the employee engagement teams are plugged together so that they collaborate and make the employee experience more engaging. Make sure that your values are defined and that the employees are experiencing them in a fun environment with diverse challenges, and focus on the deadline rather than the working hours. It's all about the deliverables rather than policing, like being behind every employees to make sure that they are respecting the working hours. And also facilitating exchange of experience between the departments, the warehouse teams giving the 5K policy videos. I think it's really important so that they are still engaged. So thank you very much, Tracey, for sharing all those tips and hands-on activities to the participants today. If you have any feedback to the audience, please let us know. You can send us a direct message on LinkedIn or post on the event page on LinkedIn if you appreciate it. We appreciate that you shared this event to your community. Next week is going to be Alexander Ptissin from Sovico Group, head of HR, who will share with us why is it important for the HR function to conduct a hybrid work transformation. So yeah, and so thank you very much, everyone, for attending today's event. We hope that you had you're going to walk out of this session with some tips, and feel free to let us know, giving us some feedback. We need those feedback to improve. So thank you for everyone. I wish you a great weekend. Take care, and see you next time. See you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, and take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Bye.
See you next week with Alex. Have a good Friday. Okay.